appreciate your time. Thank you. For more, let me bring in Congressman Jim McDermott of Washington. Congressman, good to have you with us. You voted in favor of the USA Freedom Act. In fact, there were 387 other members of the House who voted for it. It was an overwhelming support, and today it seemed like Republicans were against Republicans on this. But, Congressman, I want to ask you about one of the things that came up on the Senate floor today, that the chairman of the Senate Intel Committee, Mr. Burr, says that the response time is going to be reduced. If that's the case, I find it hard to believe that Americans would be okay with that. I want your reaction.
Well, there's always choices to be made in a democracy. And people can give the government wide open access, and there'll be no delay whatsoever. There'll be none that they can claim there's a delay caused by anybody but their own ineptitude.
So how does this work? Does the NSA go to a phone company, say Verizon, and say, hey, we have got to have these records right now? Is the expediency of this going to be okay?
My understanding is when they want to put a wiretap on somebody or want to surveil, they have to go to the FISA court and explain why they're doing it. And if that's what I think we are entitled to make the government say why they want to look into our lives.
Okay.
Now, for most of us, it doesn't make any difference. But if we give it away because we think it only goes to bad guys, strange things begin to happen.
Well, Congressman, I was under the impression that the NSA can do what they want, but they have to notify and get authority from the FISA court within a number of hours after the wiretapping. You know, because of expediency, because they don't want to be delayed. If they think that they've got a bead on a terrorist, they got to get the information as quickly as possible, but they have to go back to the FISA court to make sure that all the, T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. What about that? Has that changed?
My understanding is they still have access to gathering data, but they do have to clear it through the FISA court. Now, whether it's before or immediately after, I'm not absolutely certain, but the fact is that there has to be some oversight on our intelligence agencies. They're gathering up everything, including the phone calls of the Prime Minister of Germany. That's way too far, and I think we ought to all, as Americans, be worried about our government getting all the information about us without us knowing it. I had a young woman come up to me one day. This is 10 years ago. Her parents had come from Iran. The government was covering their phone calls and came to the house and said to their mother, why are you calling to Iran? They had an aunt who was sick there. That kind of stuff does not, in my view, rise to the level of the government's right to intrude into our lives. These were American citizens, had been born in Iran, but they were being surveilled by our government without their knowledge.
Okay.
That's not fair.
So the final judgment here today, now that this is going to the president's desk, is that this is going to stop the government overreach, and this is going to stop the invasion of privacy by government officials, yet it's going to keep America safe, correct?
That's it, yes. I mean, that's what we're all striving for. We want to keep America safe. We don't want to do anything that makes us at risk. But the other thing is we want to protect Americans' right to their privacy, to their inalienable right to not be accused without having somebody have to go and demonstrate why they gathered this information.
Well, the Republicans, as I said in my open tonight, have always been for privatization. Now they've got it. We'll see how it goes.
Yep. I share with Tammy some of the fears. I voted for the bill. I voted against the Patriot Act and the extension of the Patriot Act. But I voted for this because it moved back a little bit in the right direction.
Okay.
Now, was it far enough?
Congressman Jim McDermott, always a pleasure. Good to have you with us.
See you again.
Thanks so much.